if you have your book, or if you don't have your book, it doesn't really matter. We have a problem like 12 times 12x plus 1. That's supposed to be a addition sign. It's my awesome artist skills. That we simply distribute the 12, right? So it ended up being 12 times 12x plus 12 times 1. Right? Does everybody understand? Everybody understood that from yesterday? Is anybody confused? All right, we're going to try a couple examples just to make sure. What's up, Mr. Jack? Okay, let's try this one on page 420. 4 times a plus 4. Okay, so again, all you're going to do is distribute the 4, right? This is the monomial. That's the monomial, right? That we're going to use to distribute. All these are it's pretty obvious what number they want you to distribute, right? So you're going to distribute this, so it'll end up being 4a plus 16. Now, if there's no variable here, you can just go ahead and multiply. 4 times 4 is 16, 4a plus 16. You guys can't hear me? Can anybody else hear me? Eric can hear me, so hold on. All right. Can you hear me, Jack? Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. So as I was saying, all you're doing is distributing. Let's look at one more, and then I'm pretty sure you guys got this. Number 2, 10 times 2x minus 3. Again, all you're doing is distributing, right? So 10 times 2x is going to be 20x. I'm sorry, that's supposed to be a 2. 20x, right? Minus 30. 10 times 2x is 20x. 10 times 3 is 30. Everybody see that? Very simple. You're just distributing. If you guys have any problems with that, let me know. So let's move on to, let's see. All right, let's look at the review on page 421. What is the specific name for the expression? This is the expression. Negative 9x to the second power plus 91x plus 18. What's the specific name for this expression? And the answer is, this is a trinomial. Why? Because there's 3 different expressions there, right? 3 different terms. Negative 9x to the second power, 91x, and 18. So that is a trinomial. Right. Multiply negative 7x times 2. Negative 7x times 2. It's pretty simple. It's negative 14x. right? And you can test that, right? So you have negative 7x 2 is equal to negative 14x, right? If x equals 1, negative 7 times 1 is negative 7 times 2 is negative 14. Negative 14 times 1 is negative 14, right? So it checks out. They are equal. 12c to number 53, 12c to the fifth power over 6c to the second power. All right. Twelve divided by 6 is 2. And then we just subtract the exponents, which gives us c to the second power. 2c to the, I'm sorry, third power. 5 minus 2 is 3. So remember the steps. Whenever you begin doing these problems, I tell you what, the one thing that I would do if I were you, and I will always allow you to use these in a test. If you have a formula key, all right, so if you want to write down the different ways you're supposed to resolve these problems, like for example, what are the steps to solving 12c to the fifth power over 6c to the second power? It would be real smart for you to create for yourself a cheat sheet where you worked out this problem from start to finish. And in that way, when you get to a math problem on a test or a quiz, you can actually look at the way it's done and walk through it. Because I don't suspect you're going to memorize all of these formulas. And if you do, then you're a genius and you don't need my help anyway. So there's that. Look at the homework on page 422. Z times Z plus 1. Well, let me get this off the screen. Z, that's not a Z, that's a 7. I'm really good at this. Z times Z plus 1. Okay. Again, you're just going to distribute, right? So, again, and remember this, where there is no stated exponent, the exponent is 1. We got naked Jack over there. Put a shirt on, Jack. All right, so you have Z to the second power plus Z is your answer. Why is that? Because you're distributing. Right? You're taking Z to the first power, you're distributing it to Z to 1, right? And what you end up with is Z times 1, right? So when we distribute the Z to the first power to this, we end up with Z to the first power times Z to the first power is essentially just Z to the second power, right? If we distribute the Z to the first power to the 1, we essentially have Z to the first power times 1, or Z. Right, Z to the first power times 1 is Z to the first power. So, all right. And you could simplify this even more if you really wanted to, but we're not going to go down that route. Look at number 2. 9 times negative 6d minus 3. Again, you're just distributing. What's 9 times 6? 53, or 54, excuse me. So negative 54d. And then distribute the 9 to the 3. What is that? 27. Negative 54d minus 27. It's very simple. All you're doing is distributing. Any questions? Look, I said put on a shirt. Jack goes and gets a... Is that... What? Listen, Jack. Oh, man. You're a trip, brother. All right. Any questions or concerns? All right. Just type it in the chat. Any questions? There is an assignment. You're going to do the rest of homework 10.5 on page 422. And Jack Nunez, I have uploaded the science chapter and the history chapter. I'm going to upload also the math chapter after we get done with this, but the history and the science book are up there available for you to download. So do the homework 10.5 on page 422. All right. Any other questions?